are back at the Portland Game Store. I am Hunter Dassville, also known as Das. With me, filling in for Sean until he gets back, is Aaron Coford, also known as KB Fresh. We have our final championship matchup here. We have Jeff, the Dr. Professor Zong, running Thrawn Snoke. And against him, we have Uriah running Kylo Snoke. This will be a best of 3. In the previous rounds, Jeff defeated Brian, who was running a Cad Bane Snoke in 2 games, and Uriah defeated a 4-wide Hero Vehicles deck.
In 2 games as well.
And 2 games as well. So we have both guys that swept their semifinals matchups.
Come here and play. It's a lot of time playing.
You wanna pause that and get it set or whatever?
Okay, congrats, man.
Set. So yeah, we're gonna get
so people can hear about my life.
So yeah.
Yeah,
in October.
I mean,
yeah, I'm really excited. Thank you.
Obviously, Snoke used in both of these, but 2 very different
get
types
it out,
of decks.
You're not going to have as much time once you
Kylo
see it.
Snoke going primarily through weapons
you're not
and
wrong, but you don't have to keep
using the
reminding
character
me.
dice to deal its damage, whereas Snoke Thrawn is just going to ramp up the resources, throw down huge supports like the ATST, planetary bombardment if he wants to, things like arcs, arc fighters, fang fighters, stuff like that. So. Similar, obviously Snoke is involved in both of them, but playstyle is very different for them. So it'd be interesting to see how this one ends up turning out for the 2 players.
I'm going to keep 2. I'll keep 1.
Keeping 1?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
I'm keeping
We got
3.
them here doing their mulligan action. Looks like Jeff kept 1 card and Uriah kept 3. So we got Jeff on the left and Uriah on the right. As soon as we get to the roll-off here, we'll start the 90-minute timer for the best of 3 match.
All right. See you on the other side.
All right, man. Good luck.
Just sort of thinking this through.
All right.
I'd have to imagine that Kylo Snoke is probably looking for. Crossguard lightsaber is a big
Go
one
ahead and
for
get a
it.
start on the time here.
All right.
3.
We'll play with my battle.
Okay. What's that? Okay.
Obviously, one of the big things with this one is Kylo's ability is going to be much harder to sort of, find its mark just with Snoke Thrawn being pretty evenly split in terms of red versus blue cards.
Yeah.
It's not really one more than the other.
And he's really got, I think he's got a couple great cards in there because I know he's running, what, the Z95. Actually, that might be his only great card. Disregard what I just said. Oh, Chance Cube.
Chance Cube. Yeah, that is the only gray.
So
yeah, just making sure that we were all set up and ready to go.
This
Feel your
Kylo
anger,
Snoke, we're not seeing, there's no holocron package here, so it's a lot of, we got, it looks like we got some Maul Sabers, we got some Shotos, we got lightsaber throws, looks like it binds all things, some lightsaber pulls,
binds all things.
lightsaber. So he's really just going to be looking to get that it binds all things out there so he can start playing weapons out.
Another big one for this, another big card for this matchup is, Kylo has a whole bunch of melee sides. Basically, all the weapon upgrades are going to have a bunch of melee sides. This is one where close combat can make a huge swing play.
Close quarters combat.
Close quarters combat.
Yeah.
Getting rid of some of those big, big vehicles in hand.
Oh yeah, taking out those vehicles is going to be huge for him.
Let's do
does he run close quarters combat?
red?
He doesn't actually.
Yes, I do not see that on the list here. Is that a neutral card?
It is.
Okay.
It is a neutral.
Yeah.
Neutral gray.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Coming in, we
have
have a,
announcer coming in here. We got Story jumping in here, who was in the semifinals match running the 4-wide hero. He's about to take over for me.
To Snoke.
Story will actually be
And for
rather helpful
action,
here,
I'm
as
gonna
he
put
got to
an
play against
upside
both
down
of these
resource
guys.
in here. And for 1
You got to play
damage,
against both of these guys
Yeah.
during the actual
Both of them
setup.
Power action.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, only two losses of the day.
Here. It's like 4 resources.
Well, when you lose to the 2 guys who are in the finals, that's,
I'll
you know,
activate Snoke.
what more can you really do about it? Story, of course, was running the hero vehicles,
Spend 1 for Feel Your Anger.
4 wide with the
It's Jedi Temple Guard, Hired Gun, Rookie Pilot, and Anakin.
let's see. So Jeff here just played Feel Your Anger, trying to early mitigate dice as quickly as he can.
Yeah. The main strategy I used against Kylo Snoke was try and remove all the Kylo dice so they can't power action. That's also the same strategy against Jeff, who's playing the Thrawn Snoke.
Yeah.
Snoke's power action.
Yeah. You know, and it's one of those things where, you know, in future sets and series, removing resource die would have seemed sort of just not as impactful, but clearly with this one, you know, it's ramp. It's getting as many resources as possible. I know that when I faced Jeff earlier in the day, he had 12 resources to start a round, which is just absurd. But I mean, that's kind of what the deck does. Is it's just it gets to huge numbers there, drops down everything that it wants to, has resources left over for the mitigation stuff, and you know, like you said, getting rid of Thrawn's dice right off the bat is what's going to kind of keep that from going. So to end that there, looks like Uriah claimed the battlefield, leaving Jeff to kind of do what he needed to do, dropping 2 ARC Starfighter, or dropping an ARC Starfighter and a Z95 Headhunter.
Z95 is really only good in this deck. I don't really play most of my decks because you have to pay for the card and then all the sides.
Yeah.
But in this deck where he has like a ridiculous amount of resources, it's pretty good.
And the focus, so you can, you know, basically just kind of bypass the 2 blanks that ends up on the die. So Snoke gets rolled out first, 2 indirect and a focus.
DH17's interesting tech.
DH17 in the previous matchup actually ended up being pretty big, as the Cad Bane Snoke ended up discarding a whole bunch of Jeff's cards out of his hand, so he didn't, you know, wasn't able to find vehicles and stuff like that. 2 DH17s on Snoke ended up doing a surprising amount of damage. Uriah opting to go for the It Binds All Things into Heirloom Lightsaber. You know, something that you don't actually see a ton of outside of, I think I see, you know, the Heirloom Lightsaber played mostly still in like the Plo Koon Padawans, just because you can mitigate the cost of it so quickly.
Oh, sorry, thank you.
It's kind of a, blue has the good problem of having too many good blue weapons.
Yeah.
You're telling me.
You know, which ones do you end up dropping?
Alright,
Obviously,
well, let's activate. And I will
Being
say
big things.
red.
Thrawn activated. Looks like he called for 1, ended up getting rid of the Feel Your Anger, which clearly would have been pretty big. Kylo activates and
He called red.
called red,
Yeah.
so missing there.
Melee?
Jeff opting to get rid of the Kylo dice as quick as he can.
Yeah.
Hidden
He gets
motive on the melee. Let's see. Uriah does still have a, you know, Feel Your Anger sitting in there, but I think he's probably.
He's out of resources. He
Oh,
can't
he's out
really
of
do
resources.
much.
Yeah, so Kylo's, you know, could power action Kylo's resource up there to get 3, but you know, is that really the best option?
Yeah, he's going for the heirloom.
Looking for damage there.
Spend one for the best defense.
Jeff going
Alright.
with
What is
best
it? Can I see
defense.
Yeah, so I'm going
that's
to deal
going
3 damage to Thrawn.
Best defense
I'm gonna
is
remove
pretty
two
good
dice.
here.
Okay.
Yeah,
And I'm going to remove the heirloom. And I'm gonna
taking
remove
3 damage. Essentially just removing the 2 indirect.
Yeah. It's
So
pretty
now we're
good.
sitting with
Oh, power
the
action.
resource. Okay, Snoke going to
Alright.
power action for the triple resources there.
Yep.
That's a big one.
Thank you. Keep me honest.
Obviously reminding him of the damage
Alright.
taken with it. So now we have Feel Your Anger online, but
Yeah.
the power action's obviously into the resource before he can really get rid of it.
Really good.
I have to imagine. I mean, he's seen Feel Your Anger in the hand, so he
Yeah.
has to know that it's, he knows that it's there. He's probably going to re-roll into it, so it doesn't.
Ooh, that's what I like to see.
Rolls into the double blank.
Unfortunate.
I'll pass if you want
Not
to
really doing much much for him there.
All right, discarding Dark Ritual.
Snoke
A little better.
Kylo
okay.
opting
It's a
to
bit better.
pass on that one. Focus is going to be a big one here.
Thinking about the isolation. That's not a terrible move.
Seems like some, isolation, potentially big one.
Nope, not gonna do it. Now it might be a bit better to remove the 2 indirect.
He also has a Force Illusion in hand, which, you're gonna have to pick the right moment to use it, but obviously
Pass.
will make a potentially big difference in this one, just with how many big value damage sites are there. And,
All right, the focus to 2 indirect.
okay,
Jeff is behind in damage, so he does need to get more.
decides to stick with the 2 focus into the 2 indirect. So 4 damage is showing. A shield over on the DH-17 die.
Yeah, and there's
There's the
Force
Force
Illusion.
Yeah, so 2 indirect.
And going on Snoke, it looks like.
2 indirect.
Yeah, I own a bunch of.
Let's see. So no cards in hand left for
The other
Jeff
2,
over here.
gonna go on the Force Illusion.
This is a cross guard and a lightsaber throw.
Yeah, lightsaber throw is what got me at the end. It came down to I had an Anakin with 2 health left, and I had a 3 damage showing on my Arc 170, 3 health left on Snoke, and he just lightsaber throwed for the game.
Pass.
Yeah, it's a tough one. This one actually has
The shields on Snoke. Oh, he has no cards in hand, so we can't discard. Headhunter coming out,
Do you have no cards?
and the
blank,
blank.
so that's going to end up being a dead card.
I'll pass.
Alright.
Claims, all right.
Alright,
Going into the
claiming.
next round. Scary going into this one when you see Snoke and Thrawn starting a round with 7 resources.
Yeah, I mean, like, he could get out, like, two smaller vehicles, like a EDT-DP or a Fang Fighter. Yeah.
And still have a resource left over for something like an overconfidence or,
Yeah.
let's see, what other, a Feel Your Anger, pin down.
Call 1.
A lot of potential for stopping the dice from really doing much. Went for 1, got rid of Feel Your Anger. A pretty solid choice given that he has 2 blanks showing.
Yeah. Yeah. He does still have the Feel Your Anger, right?
Alright.
Or did he use it?
In Jeff's hand, I can see that there's still an ATST.
Am I allowed to look
Yeah.
at your discard pile?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Let's see.
Jeff got rid of it. Jeff got an ATSC against me round 1, and it kind of sucked.
Oh, it's such a big difference.
Yeah.
And with you, especially with the hero vehicles, that special is just
Alright, let's
awful.
say red.
Yeah.
discarding supports. Let's see.
Misses on the Kylo ability again. Ooh, but he's got, what, 6 damage showing?
That's a lot of damage. And I
Yeah.
don't...
He can make it even more with the Snoke power action.
It looks like...
Ooh, Chance Cube.
I don't think Jeff has any real big mitigation with it.
He's
I think I
got-
saw that he has like a pin down, potentially,
Yeah.
in hand. But other than that, I think it's... you know, he had a Chance Cube, he had an ATST, he has a Dark Ritual. I missed what the other ones were, but over on that side, there's another Binds All Things. There's the Lightsaber Throw.
There's a Mislead in there.
Mislead, yeah. Isolation,
yeah.
and...
Does he have the Feel Your Anger still, or did he use it?
No, he...
Yeah.
That was the one that Thrawn
Oh,
opted,
yeah, he hit it with Thrawn.
opted to get rid of with the activation. This will be interesting.
Power action.
How does he want to do
Snoke.
this?
Yep, he's
gonna
gonna
power
action. 4 damage.
Let's do
The free
4 to Snoke.
1
Okay.
and 3 through the shield.
So that's 4 damage.
And
That's
I need to do
pretty
1
big.
damage on Kylo.
3 damage
So,
now on Kylo.
And yeah, he has lethal showing
Gonna
on.
pay the resource.
Yeah, he's got lethal showing.
Done that.
Forcing the action by rolling out Snoke. Not a bad play,
Yeah.
but does put him behind in action. He could lightsaber throw and get a couple damage in
Yeah.
as well. Yeah.
And that doesn't seem like a
He has
poor
4
play given that he has
resources.
4
might not be a
resources
bad
out there
play.
to use.
We're
I'm trying to see what is the last card he has in his hand.
He has saber throw, binds all things, mislead, and
Snoke.
isolation.
Right. Okay.
Oh,
Opting
he's
not
gonna
to-
throw.
Opting not to lightsaber throw.
Yeah. Yep, that's the power of forcing the action with Snoke.
Now, does Jeff go with Dark Ritual, or does he hang on for a bigger support?
Well, he discarded the Dark Ritual, so I don't know if he still has one.
He does have 2.
Okay. Is he playing
Yes.
Rise again?
I do not
Oh,
know.
I guess in this deck, yeah, it makes sense to play Dark Ritual over Rise again.
Yeah, just because of the lack of
Yeah.
upgrades that you'd want to play with it.
And Uriah is playing double Rise again.
all
I don't think
focused.
he's playing
Indirect.
Dark Ritual.
Headhunter?
Yeah, I don't see it.
Showing a blank there.
Let's do 2
2 indirect off of
Yeah.
that, so
2 indirect to the Snoke.
Thrawn,
is actually
Thrawn's sitting
really
with
far
7
ahead.
health
Well, that's a
remaining.
lot of money.
Oh, is he in a planetary or ATST? Oh, Dark, Ritual.
So goes ahead and brings him back. That'll end up with Snoke with 5 damage on him, so
Yeah. 5 or
Is it rounded
6?
down?
Yes.
5 damage.
Yeah, okay.
Jeff definitely still behind in terms of overall damage.
Wait,
though.
is it rounded up or rounded down for Dark Ritual?
I believe it is
How many
rounded
cards? You have
up
4?
to the
2 resources.
It's
Yeah.
max
fewer health remaining.
But let me
Let's
check.
play Binds All Things.
Because I'm pretty sure it's rounded down. Or, I don't know.
Discard to reroll.
Yeah, well, it's fine by now.
Opting to-
If they didn't catch it, it's
Opting to discard
Probably
the
fine.
Chance Cube
yeah.
with some big damage sides showing.
He has what 2 resources? Are any off screen?
No, I believe he just has 2. So,
Yeah.
looking at right now 7 damage.
7 damage.
Not enough to kill either character, but definitely still puts a huge dent
Yeah.
in the remaining health, and puts Kylo to within 2 remaining, and
Yeah.
puts Snoke to within 2 remaining health as well.
Yeah. You probably go for Kylo here because he just has more damage.
Seems likely.
I'll mislead your focus die
Go
there.
ahead, mislead, take away that.
Misleading
So,
focus. Snoke has not power actioned yet. He does get to power action again, or not?
Then
Does
you
he?
want to deal 3.
I know there's a ruling on it. I forgot what it was.
3.
I believe. Actually, I believe that was one of those ones that was just ruled.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Okay.
I will claim.
So as we've heard, it's been ruled that comes back into play that power actions are wiped. So
Discarding the ATGP.
looks like he's looking for it, and he gets the 2 focus, which is essentially a blank.
Oh. He's going all in.
2 focus, another essentially blank.
All right.
Goes ahead and passes the rest of the actions. We'll have to see what he's holding in his hand.
Yeah.
Looks like another
Alright,
headhunter, I
so
believe.
let's see.
Force Solution
Yes.
in Uriah's hand. Oh, Uriah needs to get resources for a turn.
Need 2 resources.
Oh, there you go.
All right,
Yeah,
so
that's money.
yeah,
And it binds all things.
go ahead and start 2 resources that you're
Dagger
given.
Mortis for 1 plus 2
Dagger
there.
Mortis comes down. That's a big one.
Double redeploy weapons on Kylo.
Yeah.
Throng coming out. Ooh. If he calls 1, he can get rid of the Force Solution. That might have been a misplay.
Activate.
Actually,
See what he
I don't know. We'll see.
And I will call 1.
focus. A lot of focus showing. Let's see what he. I mean, he picked 1, so he's going to get rid of
overconfidence over Force Solution. That's.
I guess opting for the decision that he has just enough dice that
Yeah.
if you can. 1 Force Solution may not be enough to stop everything.
Yeah.
Just a quick call out, just to make sure anyone new coming into the stream. We are here at Portland Game Store in Portland, Oregon, with the finals being played with Jeffrey Zong and Uriah Rohrbacher. Been playing all day. This is the first game of the finals matchup, just in case anyone was curious.
Oh,
Kylo.
finally got it.
Did he get the
Let's hit Snoke for 2.
Kylo ability? No, it looks like he. Oh yes, he did. That's a big one. He's missed on that for the majority of the game.
Yeah.
Which has obviously been a huge point in Thrawn and Snoke's favor. Wow, actually called blue, and Jeff's hand is 3 red, 1 gray, and 1 blue. So
Yeah.
getting a little lucky on that one, but
2 focus. He is
So.
lethal on Kylo now.
and
Force Solution,
Force
isolation.
Solution could come down on it if he wants to try and prevent it for as long as possible.
I'd say he probably wants to isolation here, but then he loses this Kylo.
Yeah, so it comes down to 3 damage showing.
Yeah.
Force Illusion keeps him alive for it, but
Yeah.
lets him ramp further. So he decides to keep Kylo alive for a little
But now he
longer.
can just power action.
Probe your hand.
Oh,
So now he's going to
Moving
probe.
both of them.
That gets rid of
Oh.
both of them.
If they're
If they're events.
events.
Which
Yeah.
they are.
Yeah, it gets
pretty
rid of
good.
both events. So that's a
Probe,
big
get
one.
rid of
Um,
cards.
Isolation, like you said, big for this one.
Yeah.
Getting rid of Thrawn's dice or getting rid of potentially Snoke's dice for focusing into bigger damage off of the supports, and then lightsaber throw being one of those sneaky cards, like you said. Got
Great Snoke.
ended up being the difference or being a difference maker in your own game.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna spend 2, spotting a blue.
this is going to be big.
Ooh, mind trick for what?
Mind trick
it's
has
gonna be like
consistently been
probably 3 dice.
consistently been getting thrown out there for removing 3 or more dice. We'll see how Uriah decides to split his dice up. Obviously, you would want, you'd want the bigger damage side with the lesser focus. And, Snoke is not power action yet, so.
Yep. Neither of them have.
So it ends up being, well, no, actually,
Get rid of those guys.
Okay.
right.
I think that's probably the correct play because
That's. Yeah,
Snoke,
probably.
No,
Snoke if he focuses Kylo's dice.
Oh. Oh, no, he's
Okay.
doing the other one.
At what point does your action is it completed?
Oh.
I mean, you haven't
he's trying
taken
to
an action.
say.
Is that
We can call. You want to call a judge?
no? I'm just asking.
Oh.
By,
It's like just player courtesy. Just like, oh, am I done?
Weighing
doing
his
actions?
options.
And you can
Uriah
start
wants
taking-
to.
so the
okay.
moment I take an action is when
Jeff
you can
wanted-
go back.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
Pretty
If you're in
much.
this situation, which
'Cause then it's
which
like-
group do you remove?
I've given you a chance.
Let's see.
You've given me a chance to
I mean,
finish my
with
action.
that, with the one with the dagger and the
So as
Kylo
long
and
as
the
the other person
Snoke
doesn't take an
is.
action,
Pretty
I
much.
have time to go back.
People can be harder about
let's
it,
see.
but not at probably not at a store
Okay.
championship.
I don't
As
know.
long as
Both
we're
of
on
them are
the same
pretty
page,
good. I think. Let's see. That one. I think the one he went with is probably the correct play.
I think you're right. I think because the big thing with that one is if he focuses that, max damage out of those two is going to end up being 5 damage versus the 4 with this one.
Power action?
Okay.
Power action.
You know, unless of course he holds back the Kylo dice to power action the
damage,
Snoke
yeah.
for 4. But
4 day.
Take 4 resources. Yeah. Field damage.
going
thrown,
with the
take 4
classic
Okay.
Yeah.
Snoke Thrawn combo of damage for 4 resources.
Yeah.
Sitting in his hand. Looks like there's a headhunter and
I'm gonna power action.
There's
another
power
big
action.
vehicle. I can't see which one it is,
Do-
but
4.
so that's 4. That's gonna
Yeah,
kill
and
Snoke.
Snoke is
damage
dead.
here.
Kill Snoke again.
Both dark rituals are gone, so he's not coming
So
back
this is
this
it.
time.
Headhunter?
There's a blank.
Let's do 2 to Thrawn.
I believe that's a Fang Fighter in Jeff's hand.
Yeah. I think so.
Okay, another
Starfighter.
2 damage there.
Oh.
He's
Yeah,
getting.
something.
another
Ooh,
blank.
feel your anger in hand? I don't think so.
Nope, both of those have been discarded.
Yeah.
I will claim.
All right.
So it's claiming there
Does Uriah even have a hand? No, yeah,
No.
no, he discarded both of them
with
with
the
the probe.
probe.
Fang Fighter.
There's the Fang Fighter.
Oh, I'm loving it.
That's a lot of blanks.
Yeah.
He's got 2 cards to get rid of. I think
Oh, one looks like a headhunter.
he definitely has a headhunter. I think he might be trying to save that.
Discard to reroll.
Ooh,
Gets rid of the planetary bombardment. That was the other one
That's
I
a
saw.
fun card.
It is.
Yeah.
A lot of big stuff. Okay, so
Alright.
there's lethal to kill
Yeah.
Kylo, even with the Force illusion. Does he give up the headhunter to try and go bigger with the
Yeah.
Fang Fighter? You know, because the big thing right now is Snoke is about to get up both Heirloom and
Yeah.
the Dagger of Mortis. So
And I claim. So
Yeah.
And even with Kylo's die, Thrawn is what, 4 away from lethal?
yes,
Yeah. You can easily do damage
looks to
with
go big.
those dice. Okay.
Gets another 2.
Okay.
So
Spend 1.
4 of it's going to go into Kylo.
Force illusion? I mean, yeah, it's definitely the correct play to force solution. Ooh. Okay.
Okay. So kills Kylo with the Fang Fighter die.
Yeah.
And now Snoke is a little. Suddenly finds himself a little bit
2 to Snoke.
more strapped on the dangerous side.
let's
He should
do
be at
4.
I think Snoke's definitely better in the vehicle deck because a Snoke by himself doesn't do much. I mean, it is okay, but
Obviously, the indirect can make a
yeah.
difference in,
yeah,
in
it
games.
can. But it's like also like leaving a Snoke by itself with a bunch of vehicles is probably better.
Yeah, given the 2 focus sides, one of which is a A2 focus side.
Yeah, but both players are very good. Both decks are very good. So here we are.
So Snoke being the first one to be able to do something. 3 resources gives him
This
pretty
guy.
good opportunity to do a lot of things.
Yeah.
4 strike in there, I can
Yeah,
see.
the 1 of 4 strike tack.
Uh,
I believe it's 1 of. Yeah, 1 of.
that's not quite a game ender, just because the biggest side out there that could potentially find it is the 3 on the Heirloom. But
I'd say, I mean, he could just roll in now
Grab my
Could.
water.
and get the extra action.
By the taps.
The big thing is whether or not, well, actually, the other thing, too, is that, and Jeff is now aware of it, is the most of the big blue mitigation cards are now
Can I look at your
offline
discard pile?
with
Yeah.
Snoke being out. So there's no chance for a mind trick, no chance for an overconfidence for some of those big ones.
Double Dark Ritual.
Yeah, both Dark Rituals are definitely out. Best Defense was already used earlier.
He's only running one copy of Planetary. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
running a Planetary and an ATSC. I suppose that works.
Bind all
Yeah.
things,
So he's not going to be able to get another one out.
play a crossguard
Decides to go
lightsaber.
with the cross guard. Doesn't
Free
proc
cross
the
guard.
ability because it's not on not on Kylo, but still just a good upgrade just to get down
Can activate
even
that.
more melee sides, potentially melee
I'll
sides.
use his ability and I'll call 1.
It's a lot of resources.
4 resources.
So
I'll get
getting rid of
All right. The
The
only
Force
card he can get
Strike.
rid of is Force Strike.
um,
Ren isn't really doing much here.
All right, let's activate Snoke.
Snoke rolling out. Let's see what he gets. Some
All right,
damage, some
he's
focus.
He has lethal.
He definitely has lethal with this.
Mind trick? No.
Mind trick.
Beguile?
Guile.
Okay.
So this is one that I've seen. It's from what I've seen, it's been pretty opinionated on feeling.
Wait, he
overall
can't mind
strength.
trick. Oh, it's Beguile. I
It's
thought it was
Beguile.
mind trick.
Yes. Yeah, we
Yeah.
made sure to let him know from the last one.
Reroll that.
Yeah, Beguile is one that I'm sure everyone has seen at least once or twice with the
Blank the Snoke die and remove the Dagger of Mortis.
Say that again.
Blank the Snoke die
draft
and
play or
remove the
sealed
Dagger
play,
of Mortis.
and it is just
Alright.
nasty to run up into there. Constructed seems a little bit more. You got to pick and choose your moment a little bit better with it. I think again, you've talked about this deck having just a little more capability of kind of using bigger
does
stuff
have
like this.
lethal.
Spend
But,
1 to
yeah.
spot a vehicle to remove
Okay.
the 2 indirect.
So he's gonna,
No resources, but he
he's gonna
stopped the
pin down
damage.
there, hanging on with 2 health.
Yeah.
So
And he can get back his resources pretty easily.
To reroll.
yeah,
Starting
definitely.
rifle.
There's 2 indirects.
Ah, he's got the. Is that it?
I believe so. I don't think he has anything left in hand that can prevent it.
Good game.
All right,
10.
that's it. That was game 1, right?
I mean,
That was
going
game
in
one.
another one.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
end of
I just
game
wanted
1
to respect
just
it. I
ended,
appreciate it.
going to the Kylo Snoke deck.
Yeah.
Shake hand after a shuffle.
So, game 1 of the Finals Store Championship game being played at Portland Game Store goes to Uriah.
Yeah.
They'll get all their dice put aside, reshuffle the decks, go ahead and go again for their next game.
Yeah.
I believe there's probably quite a bit of time left for them. This is one where time shouldn't be a factor just because both of them kind of are aware of what they're playing. But anytime you get vehicles going, anytime you have finals especially, good players, you have to think through play stuff. I don't think time's going to be a factor with this, but it's something to always just kind of have in the back of your mind, especially with things like vehicles. A lot of dice out there that you have to take care of, handle, work through decisions and all that.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.
All right. All right, looks like we're switching up the commentators. Yeah.
All right, this is my last shuffle here.
What?
Let's do this. Let's make this a best of 3. 2-0.
All right, we're starting up Game 2 of the finals match at the 2018 Portland Game Store Store Championship, being run during their 3rd anniversary.
Yep, you have Das and Yeti back on the mic here for the second game. I hope you guys enjoyed Story and Aaron taking over for us for a little bit there.
The cider is refilled at least on one side of the table here.
Oh man, you're giving me a hard time now. Now I gotta get another cider. Hold on, guys. I'll be back.
Oh, one thing is there's an advantage with Kylo's ability of knowing.
So if you're
after the
just now
game,
joining us,
he had a lot of blue
this is
cards
the
in
second
there.
game of the finals round.
A lot of red vehicles.
On the
and
right-hand
blue
side,
cards.
Snoke Kylo took the first game. So on the left-hand side, Jeff running
good
Ron
luck.
Snoke.
Hey, you two, man.
Villain Vehicles needs to win this match to see a 3rd game.
I'll move my deck over here.
We'll play with my battlefield.
In other news, your previous announcer, Aaron, just picked himself up a nice little bag of trail mix over here.
Best of 3, the loser chooses the battlefield.
Yeah, I learned that earlier. So.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
so,
you don't
there's
need
no
to-
roll.
Yeah, he
you
needs
don't
his
need to roll.
nutrients.
Oh,
At least
okay.
that's what he
You
tells
use
me.
straight shields.
Straight shields it is.
So for my first action, I will activate Thrawn. And I will call 1. Let's see, we will get rid of...
Yeti now has the craving for some brogies, cheese brogies. He's trying to coerce somebody into picking some up for him. I don't know if he had coercion in his hand or not, but we'll find out to see if he has a delivery.
Let's do 1 damage to Snoke.
So Jeff on the left-hand side, running the vehicles deck, he gets the choice of the battlefield, and he goes ahead with taking the Weapons
3 cards
Factory
left?
Alpha.
3
I
cards.
think this is the first time in the top cut that I've seen him get his battlefield, so it'll be interesting to see him playing with that
Oh,
this
so
time.
So I get 2 random
Oh, an
cards.
interesting
2
choice here.
random
cards. I don't just get to
Uriah
discard the
almost
events. I'm
just
not that- it's
reveals
not that good.
the 2 events he
Yes.
has instead of letting them be randomly discarded.
So
and see what
he
he
has
gets.
at least.
Get rid of both.
Oh, he
And
gets
that
both
works.
events.
He gets the 2 out of the 3 events in
Good
his
guess.
hand.
What's the other hand in there? Or what the?
All right.
I think what he has is
Activate
a
Kylo.
Shoto Saber,
Oh, is it
if
Shoto?
I
Okay.
if I
I
remember
will say
correctly from
blue.
seeing it earlier.
Oh, we got somebody at the register.
Das
Ooh,
stepping
that's not a
away
card you
really
wanna
quickly
see
to
early on.
get that side.
I'll hidden motive and call melee on Kylo's 2 side.
And it looks like Kylo misses calling red, finding blue instead.
Activate Snoke.
Pretty good state here with Kylo, sitting on that 1 disrupt side. It's going to make rolling in that chance cube rather difficult unless Jeff has something up his sleeve. Jeff again sitting at a game loss from game
Activate
1,
Snoke.
so he really
Spending
needs to
1
get this win
resource
to keep
Okay.
himself in the Portland Game Store 2018 Store Championships.
Two for the Shoto. Before you discard it.
All right, guys, I am back now, and
Focus.
I as well as Yeti has a glass of cider.
That's how we roll at the Portland Game Store. Cider and a blue ribbon winner beer on tap.
Yeah, how many years ago did that thing win a blue ribbon?
You only
I'll
need to
take
win
a
it once.
shield.
How do you spell pierogies?
Get 4 money, do 1 damage and get 4 money.
So I will power action Snoke. with a shield here.
Hopefully Jeff can win this game
And take
to
3 of
prolong
those
it
away.
long enough that I can get my order of fried cheese.
2 focus. 3 money.
Snoke going for 2 focus to hit a ridiculous amount of money here.
You're still going to have enough for that planetary bombardment.
The Artifice Repower action token is
Let's
out
do
there right
one
now.
to Snoke.
Take 5.
2, 3.
Well, Artificery can only afford 1 power action token for all of its players in
I'll
Portland,
claim and
and we're
make
seeing
you
it
pay
live on
full
stream
price
now.
for it.
That's 5. Planetary bombardment.
Apparently I personally
one?
stole all the
So this
Portland.
That's what I like.
This is what.
Artifice
Oh,
tokens.
The discard to reroll.
Okay, we have
and
the
going for the reroll, trying to hit that 7
we
and
got-
he hits the 5.
which is uncosted, which
shields.
is perfect. He gets a resource going into next round.
And 3 to Snoke.
Okay. Then I'll pass.
Jeff's sitting in a very happy state right now. A very gigantic support on the battlefield.
With that, if
As long as Uriah can't find any mitigation in his hand, Jeff is going to do some serious damage going forward.
yeah, the pressure's going to keep getting put on with that. As long, I mean, you have to think he's going to reroll that till he gets damaged. So a minimum of 4 indirect per turn from
For
that
force
thing with no
speed?
mitigation. That's going to put the pressure on. Because now he has the resources. He has 3.
Jeff
starting
rolling out
here.
Thrawn and
Oh.
calling.
Oh, nice.
Right.
I assume he
again.
called 2. So let's see what he
You
takes.
got the Shoto. Oh, what did he call?
And he must have missed. He must have called 1.
Oh, must have, yeah. Man, that Kylo's about to get nasty if another Shoto gets put on him. Two indirect and a focus here from the Snoke rollout.
Snoke coming into something that could possibly be him focusing into 2 other dice with
Jeff is
focus
gonna
cascading.
Snoke power action here on the Thrawn, and he's going to grab himself 4 more resources, which is going to put him at a total of 7. I haven't. Jeff is very quick to put his hand down, so I haven't got to see what exactly he has there.
It looks like for mitigation, he does have a mind probe. So at the very least, we know that if Kylo's coming out here, a lot of dice are going to be leaving the field.
Oh, you mean you said mind probe.
Shoto.
Mind trick.
Mind trick. There we go. And I see at least a probe in there. Dark rituals in there.
I'll probe your hand.
There's the probe.
So Jeff is really trying here now to get rid of the hand
Sorry.
so that Kylo can't do any
All right.
good rerolling.
Good.
We see
He gets rid of the
hidden
hidden motive. That's good. That keeps the planetary bombardment in play because it has 4 sides,
Activate
all that
Kylo.
indirect
Yeah,
damage.
that was a huge hit for that planetary bombardment. And you have to assume we're at least going to see a couple more vehicles.
And I will take my 2 Shoto shields.
Jeff sitting at the 50-50. We'll
and I
see
will
what Uriah
say
calls here.
Blue. Ah,
Hidden
brutal.
down.
Uriah pulls a red card, and
What?
it doesn't look like he called red. Oh,
Spotting a blue to play mind trick.
Okay.
there's the mind trick. So mind trick is spot a blue
Let's
character, very
see.
important.
So while Sean figures out his cheese pierogi business,
Here. Oops.
um,
Is that a shield?
I think it was a shield.
I think I barely just touched it.
apparently our Northwest locals here do not know what a cheese pierogi is. And honestly, I probably wouldn't have unless Sean had explained to me, because him and his Idaho based self, yeah. Apparently they're a big thing. I've also learned about finger steaks. I actually was in a text chat earlier getting some pictures of finger steaks, and they looked really good. One of these days I'm going to have to try some, and I'm probably, Sean and his cousin are probably going to continue to rub in how good these finger steaks are until I get to try them. But
I'm very looking forward to taking the Portland Artificery crew to the Idaho Regionals later this year, which I think are right now, they're scheduled for November. And hopefully we could do that this year, and we can have all of the Idaho terrible fried food that is just so delicious.
Terrible fried food
So-
or delicious fried food?
Jeff getting off the Mind Probe, picking out 4 dice. Looks like he got a pretty good mix of dice with that Mind Probe. Really tough on Uriah.
I'm gonna pitch.
Just still sitting on
Should we
at
roll?
least 5 resources and at least 3 cards in hand.
Yes.
And
he's-
Uriah is going for the full discard to reroll, leaving that 4-speed focus, which is hitting that focus side for a 0-cost upgrade is just amazing. That's why I have that in the deck.
Chance key them.
It'll be interesting to see here because Jeff's got that Dark Ritual if he's just going to continue to hold on to that because neither of his characters are close to death at this point, but obviously somebody's going to
Power
get focused
action,
on here
Kylo,
soon.
Take a shield.
And there is no
And get
discard
3
sides
resources.
sitting on Uriah's side of the board
He's
right
gonna-
now.
Uriah's
So
gonna
Jeff
take-
can
Yeah.
very,
But
very
Uriah
safely
just
keep
took
that
3
Dark Ritual.
resources and has what's left in his hand there.
Bombardment.
Planetary
There
Bombardment
you
comes out
go.
with a 6 indirect.
So mono blue deck, there is not many answers for this outside of hidden motive.
He's gonna turn the focus. Okay, he's gonna focus.
So Uriah revealing that he has
Pin
no
down.
control in hand.
Oh,
What
no.
vehicle are- Oh, that's not a vehicle.
Nope.
Looks like Jeff is paying 1 to
Whoa.
play. Nope, he's
Oh.
taking it back.
Oh, Planetary Bombardment, even though it resembles a ship on its card, is not actually a vehicle, and Pin Down is spot a vehicle. Which
Good call.
is
To
interesting,
the
but
Snoke.
Planet, yeah.
Snoke.
So our players keeping pretty good track of game state. Jeff having a good take back with the no vehicle showing on the pin down.
Activate.
Rathian wants us to just be brutal over here. This is a pretty
Get a
friendly
resource.
environment, a nice little local scene here. You know, we're not super cutthroat. Most people here let people take back their actions, even in a store championship, if it's not one you can play.
And this is why the only time we take Olivier out is for Galactic qualifiers and for Worlds.
I'm gonna
And I
claim.
agree with what Game Slayer is saying here in Discord. You're going to allow it to be taken back as your opponent, but you're going to be unhappy if it costs you the game.
I'm just gonna resolve the Snoke focus here. I assume he's looking for resources, but knowing what's in his hand, it's not really something he can pop out here. He's gotta wait till one of his characters go down to play that Dark Ritual.
And with that pin down action, again, it's
Focus.
It's really difficult,
3.
especially as a tournament organizer. This is a casual tier event. What does that mean? You know, these 2 players here have been playing Destiny for a
Focus.
solid
2
year and a half.
focus.
They know what they're doing.
So one thing
But
that I would mention
it's kind
is
of on
once you
them to
start moving
decide
multiple
what
dice,
actions
it
can they
gets
take
confusing
back,
on
what
it
actions
was.
can't
Sorry,
they take
I'll try to
back
keep it
before a
clean,
judge
I'm
is
sorry.
called
Because
to
I can't
step in.
remember that was a blank, you know?
Focus to a 2 focus.
Okay.
To a 3. And a 3 indirect.
Okay.
So I'll take 5 resources here.
So Jeff's gonna
And then
set
I'll
himself
spend
up
1
nicely
for
here.
9 indirect.
Okay.
He's gonna take the 9 indirect damage, which is a
So here's
ton
what
of
I'm
indirect
gonna do.
damage, and he's gonna have 5 resources left over, which it's gonna leave him the resources he
I'm gonna
needs
lay
if
out
he needs to
9
pop
here.
that Dark
Okay.
Ritual.
So it's on the table.
And he's gonna
and
have,
I'll-
that means if
I'll
it
move it
stays in
around
status
here.
quo, he's gonna have 7 resources going into the next round to play any vehicle he wants.
So I'll do 1 shield.
Yeah, if I was forced to call the game right now, I would put it in Jeff's favor.
Good so far.
He has the resources to stay in the game, either with Dark Ritual or just letting a character die and putting out a bunch of supports next round. He's going to have 7 resources going into the next round if he doesn't spend any money. And there's a lot of damage on
Let's
the field.
do
And hopefully Uriah pulls those damage tokens closer to his characters, or else that's going
6 and
to
2.
make his TO very unhappy. All right,
And
fantastic.
then I'll pass.
Okay.
So let's hear off in the Twitch chat right now. If you had to call it, who wins this game? Which side of the table do you think is going to take it?
Which, honestly, you have to, well, I mean, Snoke does have 9 damage on him, but that Kylo is loaded with a Kylo's crossguard and 2 Shotos. Like, you can't be mad having that on your Kylo at this point in the game. And both are very rich in resources at this point.
If that planetary
Rise
bombardment
again.
hits,
And we're going to see the rise
2,
again.
3, 4, 5.
So, I think I like Jeff's board state better because those vehicles are just gonna keep pumping out.
And I'll
Yeah.
heal 5.
and
so
this
I'll
is
trade
this
6
is the
for
thing
1.
with vehicle decks. Let's make sure he pulls back that token. All right,
Okay.
vehicle decks. If Jeff gets through this round,
I'm gonna move
and if
my
he can
discard
live
pile
through
up
the
here.
next round,
Activate
he's going to
drone.
have at least 2 vehicles, and I would expect
call one.
probably 5 vehicles at this point on the field.
So
If not 5 vehicles, then
So-
3 vehicles and a dark ritual.
Yeah, and
And
he
it's-
called a 1 there, I think. So he's got choices
We'll get rid
between
of
an isolation, a lightsaber pull, and
Okay.
what is that last one?
And he grabs the isolation.
I'm going to activate
Yeah, he grabs
Snoke.
isolation. Apparently I'm not familiar enough with the new Way of the Force cards yet and their pictures to realize what that last card was yet. I've
Snoke
played
rolling out what I think is like it's a very important for him to be hitting that 4 speed at this
Spin
point,
1 for
because
pin down, spotting a
where
vehicle
Jeff
to
is
move
sitting
to 4
now,
speed.
oh,
he's well.
and it's
Oh,
gonna get
the pin down on the
removal.
4 speed. I
Yeah.
think that's the right play,
I
because
do like it.
that's
Activates
kind of revealing that Jeff
2
in
shields
his
from
hand
Shoto.
has more mitigation to play.
Yes, because it's hard. If that's your only mitigation, it's hard to use your mitigation on non-damage. But being able to take away the action cheating is huge, especially when you roll out like that.
Ugh, and just a terrible roll for Kylo.
But he is going to get his color call here. Oh, or not?
Oh,
Oh,
and it looks like Uriah might have forgotten to call a color.
yeah, you're right.
And that
could be
right
huge.
there could have determined the game. That 2 damage.
And Kylo is a May, right?
I'm going to discard.
Is
the
Kylo a May?
reroll.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so that's going to be huge there. That's a 2 possible damage missed out on. Okay. So we get the reroll here.
How many cards up? 2?
2.
So we have the focus. So if Jeff can control that 1 melee, we know that those modified sides
So
are
he
going
has
to come into
2
play.
base 1
Oh, he
melees.
does have 2 base. So what does Jeff have over here?
So he's gonna,
Oh, it looks like Jeff might have the Feel Your Anger.
oh, what?
Feel Your Anger.
Oh, okay. Oh, ooh, he's going to opt against the Feel Your Anger to remove the 2 base sides. But I guess he does have the focus over there. Oh, hold on.
Jeff trying to decide what is the
Oh,
appropriate play.
He's going to power action for 4 more resources. So,
I think that's
gonna put him
if
at-
I correctly called the card that is in Jeff's hand, I think that is a really risky move, because if I was sitting on the right side of the table,
I'm going to take that down.
I would
Thank
immediately be re-rolling those dice and trying to find a different side.
yeah. Well, he's got, is that a Fang Fighter in there with the Dark Ritual?
Darn Jeff, he just keeps putting his cards down.
No, the kind of cards that are in play, and these are for each player, yes. Each player has their own little whatever.
Yeah, he's got 10 resources.
This is where you collect your tower, cards, each tower,
Jeff just sitting on, like, it's not even worth counting, a ridiculous number of resources.
and you use them
So depending on what he has in his hand,
Let's
there's nothing in this game
do-
that he can't play
So
2 times over.
we're going to get 4 damage here to somebody. 5 possible if he combines the other 1 base side.
and it's only 500.
Let's do 4 to Snoke.
Uriah trying to decide how much damage he wants to put on Snoke, and he brings Snoke within 3 damage of dying. So you got to really think, like, what does he have in his...
Okay.
Oh,
Glad I got those
Beguile.
out real quick.
So Beguile is
Interesting.
Jeff is going to
surprised-
re-roll one of Uriah's die. He's
Well-
going to turn 1 to any side, and then he's going to remove 1. So I imagine he's going to
Re-roll this one?
remove the
Okay.
focus.
Yep.
Oh, he's going to re-roll the focus.
Reroll.
But
That's gonna
here's the
hit
great thing about Beguile. He can now remove
Oh,
the
he's
focus.
gonna
And
no,
remove-
he's gonna
Oh, he's
blank
gonna
that.
blank it, and now he can remove damage.
Okay, so we're
That's pretty good on Jeff's side, because
Yes.
now Uriah's really looking at only
so Jeff's still
two
Should
dice with
re-roll
direct
it.
sides
Oh,
and 2 with indirect sides.
so we get a 1, a 2, and a 4. Okay, so we get 3 base side melee damage here and a focus.
And turn chance cubes.
Actually, a pretty good roll. He's got lethal on Snoke here. You have to assume Snoke's going down here after this. Only to be...
We have a lot of chat
Power
right now in
action.
the Twitch chat
Take a
about
shield off.
play restrictions, spot
And
restrictions,
then do 4 to Snoke.
and
Oh, he's
my
giving
way
us
on
a
in this
power
is
action.
I'm just shocked that Fantasy Flight Games, the designers, haven't really put any weight on giving those play restrictions something special.
Yeah.
Whether we have a play restriction icon, a play restriction border on a card, a play restriction is bolded in the text, something to really call out
lightsaber
that that
throw.
card needs something special
Two.
before you're allowed to
Throw.
legally play it. Just all the normal text on the card, players over time, it's background noise.
Yeah.
And we see
4.
time and time,
So we get a-
and to the 4,
Oh,
yep, to the
yep,
4
there
side.
we go.
We see time and time again players of every caliber, from beginners to the best players in this game, misplaying cards because FFG hasn't given us the tools to really call out there's something on that card that you need to pay attention to.
So you have to, with Jeff sitting here with 8 resources, and I'm pretty sure it's a Fang Fighter and a Dark Ritual in his hand, and he's got a Chance Cube. And
You
one
have
of
to play the Dark Ritual first.
You have to assume,
to.
Yo, the Dark Ritual has to come out.
Dark Ritual.
Yep.
Okay.
That's giving him, what,
Is
6
that
health?
Yeah. It took us only a couple months into Destiny to learn that the first thing you do is to put health on your side of the board.
Yep.
Otherwise, who knows what surprises your opponent might pull on you.
So he's going to put the indirect on Snoke over here. Or not Snoke, that's Thrawn.
Sigh. I know.
Thanks, fighter. Ambush action activate.
Game Slayer's got some nice little sarcasm in the Twitch chat here coming out of the, I believe he's in the Eurosphere, right?
Game Slayer coming all the way from the UK.
The UK, yes.
So a little background on Game Slayer. I think the
No,
first time
activated.
he played Destiny
Oh,
with
thank you.
physical cards,
Let's do...
I don't know how this works, but apparently you can play this game without owning any actual
Really?
product.
I would not know anything about this digital game you speak of.
It's digital?
Oh,
I had
sorry,
no
I have
idea.
no clue. I only
I'm-
know of the physical presence
I'll
of
have
this
to
game.
Google this, but apparently Game Slayer, the first time he played this game with real cards was at the World
have any
Championships
resources? I'm waiting.
2018 in Minneapolis in May.
Whoops. I'm going to claim.
So Uriah's going to claim here. Jeff's got 6 damage on the board, and he's going to reroll trying to hit one of those damage sides on that Fang Fighter.
And he doesn't find it. That's just a real big
You know,
disappointment for
I
Jeff.
know
One
a lot of people
shields.
really like that Fang Fighter die, but man, only 1 out of a 33% damage die.
And...
There's a couple of those other 3-cost vehicles that came out that almost rethink the Fang Fighter in
I
some.
got 3 left.
But I
right?
mean, in a vehicle deck like this, you can afford to pump all those out. So, and you can't. A couple of those new ones are hero that you can't put in a Thrawn Snoke deck. So.
And I think what
put
he's
one
really
here.
relying on with this
Since I
Thrawn
have 2
Snoke
left,
deck
I'm gonna
is
swap those
he
out.
has
Got
4
2
character
damage
dice
left to-
with double focus sides, 4 character dice with single focus sides.
And let's do...
So usually when that die is coming out on the field, he's going to get damage no matter what. But
Why not?
unfortunately, this
Put
is not one of
3
those
for
times.
1. Good?
Yep. And I'll deal 2 more to Snow.
Okay.
Gameslayer over here is telling us he's going to make an Englishman out of us. Apparently we need to make our way over to the UK for some sort of Euro event at some point. Apparently I need to rack up some flyer miles for that.
We'll have to find out how nice Gameslayer's flat is and how many people from the Artificery crew can fit in there.
I'm gonna activate Snoke. Make sure I got the right dice.
Uriah putting out Snoke first, really looking for that 4-speed
He gets
2
the
actions.
focus on
and
the 4-speed. Oh, that was a, yep, okay. So
he gets a lot of focus. Jeff here has an opportunity. Oh, and he decides to go
Oh.
with Thrawn, which is an interesting choice.
He's not gonna try
Uses
and pull
ability
out a
and I'll call
vehicle.
him.
Oh, he wants to go hand. He wants to see the hand
We will get rid of.
instead of pressing the damage.
Jesus,
So
a lot of
Jeff's
removal.
probably
wow,
deciding to
that's-
call 1 and going with the
That's
overconfidence.
4 removal cards there in his hand, and a Maul Saber.
So Jeff cannot afford to roll blanks
Yes.
in this situation.
You have to assume 2 of those cards are going to see the field with 2 resources over there. So
Let's
Currently,
mislead
Gameslayer's
you,
flat
2
is
resources.
ridiculously small. We'll kick up a Patreon for him to get a bigger apartment, just so that we can travel to Europe more often.
Agent of Zion rides in the trunks, apparently. Apparently, the secret's out. Agent of Zion does like to ride in the trunks. I Just kidding. I have never seen Agent of Zion be in the trunk of a car before.
Special.
If you don't know what sarcasm is, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. So Jeff, Hidden Motives, calls special, and gets the 4 special off the table. So again, Jeff is really showing that in his
Alright,
4-card hand,
activate Kylo.
he has more mitigation.
Shields of the Shoto.
There is a lot of dice
this,
coming out there.
this call right here, very important for Kylo.
Oh, Jeff's
Um,
already
last-
putting his cards out this time.
I will
Well,
say
I'm assuming
blue.
Uriah called it. Last
Okay.
round, Uriah missed that call. That
Gotta get it at least
Kylo
once this
May.
game. Oh, come on.
and
All right.
it seems like he called blue.
I would have to assume red would be your call against a deck like Jeff's, because it's a vehicle deck, and the majority of your vehicles are going to be red.
Like 3 damage to Thrawn.
So I
move 2
have to
dice?
I
Move 2
have to
dice.
assume Jeff's deck is more
So-
heavy on the red side than the
I'll
blue
move
side.
The
Kylo
best
2
defense
for
coming out, and 4 damage,
I'll remove
maybe.
you.
What's coming off the table here?
He's gonna.
I think Jeff is trying to decide between the modified side and the base side.
Yeah. So he's gonna. So pretty much he's gonna force the 3 damage to be put on Thrawn.
I'm
Dude,
gonna pitch
ha,
to re-roll.
USS Captain Gordon. You know, you gotta appreciate the in person though. I mean, I
So-
like interacting with the people.
Again, people in the Twitch chat talking about
loving
some way to play this game that isn't in person, and I am just mystified.
I personally like playing it in person. I like to have some
Fun
ciders, you know, chat, talk about life, you know, throw a
Ooh,
little
yuck. I don't
Life,
like that.
the
BS
meaning
back
of
and
life,
forth. You need-
universe, everything. 42.
42?
Not one
42.
bit.
Okay.
42.
Yeah. And, you know, I like the little
Jeez, that's a
camaraderie
lot
of,
of
you know, little
damage.
back and forth, you know, friendly trash talk. You know,
So
catching
Jeff
up
just
on
sitting on a 9 indirect damage here.
That's a
That
lot.
is quite a bit.
So, yeah. Let's see.
I'm gonna
Kylo.
pitch to re-roll again.
The
Can
discard's
take-
going. It looks like there's 1 card left in
have to
hand on
s-
Uriah's
you have
side,
to assume if he
and
resolves
no
the
damage
9.
is found.
So
That is
Kylo
really rough. So
gonna
Jeff's gonna go
spend
ahead and
1.
spend that resource.
To deal
He's
the
worried about
7,
that Kylo
8, 9
disrupt
indirect.
side,
9
and
indirect.
it's
So
gonna
two
do the 9
shields.
indirect.
You have to assume all of it's going
So
into
7
Kylo,
more.
because otherwise he has to kill it. Well, I guess he could get away with not. He could do 8 and 1 without.
With
Or
that,
actually, he could
with
do-
the arc and the Fang
Someone
fighter,
put 2 on
I almost
Snoke.
think Snoke
2
is
on
almost a
Snoke.
foregone
Clear that one
conclusion
quickly. So we
on
got 5
leaving this
left.
match. If you're just joining us, this is game 2 of the Portland Game
Very
Store
nice.
Championship. On the left-hand side, we have Jeff,
All right, so we got this
and
little
he
token that says
lost game 1, so he must
2,
make this
3,
game
4,
2 a win
5.
in order to continue to
All right, so
the
we
best
have
of 3.
Snoke now with 1 health left.
Okay.
Yep.
And we have a Kylo with, I think that's 4 health left. And Jeff still has 2 vehicles to roll out here.
Pitch to reroll.
But Uriah does have quite a few dice. Here, he
And
has a +2.
the game could come down to just this roll.
Yeah. And time-wise, we are still
That's
sitting
what I
at
needed,
54 minutes
finally.
left. So we still have plenty of time, because this is our 2nd game in this best of 3. And it looks like it's getting down to the end of it here pretty close. So we're going to have more than enough time for our final match if it goes to a final match here.
We are back with the Portland Game Store finals. The streaming laptop crashed.
Snoke.
We decided to continue the game because the game is more important than the stream. As much as we love you, everyone watching on the stream, we did not want the game integrity to be compromised. So a little bit of action happened. Here is Hunter
So
to
he's at
fill you
9.
in on the last couple of actions that took place while the laptop was trying to restart.
Pretty much all you
You need to
really...
keep track of which cross guard because it could have.
So pretty much what you missed here was Uriah
Okay.
doing
Yeah,
a Snoke
because-
power
so I'm gonna
action
deal
on
3
his
indirect.
So
Kylo
if it's indirect, it
2
won't
melee
really matter,
die
right? Because I could go to either
to
character.
kill
Yeah, but
Jeff's
just
Thrawn.
for future
Okay.
reference.
And
Good
then
point.
Because it could've killed.
Jeff, in response,
That's
rolled
a
out
good point.
his
So,
Arc
alright,
170 Starfighter, I think is what it's
So we
called.
got 3.
He hit the 3 indirect on it and just
9.
resolved that 3 indirect. Uriah
matter-
here
it
has
matters
3
that
health
you
left on his
Not
Kylo
in
and
this
1 health on his
instance.
Snoke, so
Doesn't it?
4 overall health left. And
Well,
so he has
no,
to
'cause I
decide which
get to
character
kill
to
one of
kill
them,
here.
Right, and I get to pick either one.
So he has to kill
And
one of
they
his
both
characters
had
here
it.
with the 3 indirect.
But
There's a little confusion here with the crossguard sabers.
So either character, whatever one that was out, I would not kill that character,
okay.
right? So, I mean, you can pick right now,
No,
and it
go
wouldn't
ahead.
matter.
Das running over to see if they need a judge
I'll
call
do
made.
1 damage here to kill him,
Is there,
and then I have to. I'm
are you guys
gonna.
all right with the crossguards? Did you guys get it figured out? Are
Yeah.
you okay with it, Jeff?
Yeah.
So, here I'm gonna trade these 3 for that. And so 1 damage here.
So unfortunately,
2 over there.
Das is watching the live action. I do not know what's going on with this token Yahtzee shuffle.
So this one's technically...
So that's over
See
there.
what's going on
That's
here.
what I'm saying.
Oh.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
that's-
this would be back
That
like that.
Well then.
'Cause
if-
you
if-
moved that
if
over
that's
there.
the
has
case,
what
then yeah,
is
I
very
would,
important.
I
So
would
hopefully
leave
Das
Snoke out
can
then.
jump in here and decide what's going on. It does not look like those 2 crossguard sabers have been tracked separately.
So either way, though.
Yeah, but you have
Very
to make the
important
right
call.
play, right? So you misplayed right there if you would have done what you did, and we would have kept going.
So, okay, if I pull this over
This one
here,
was over here.
And then you killed Snoke. You'd killed Snoke, and then
with the understanding that this die is still playable with Snoke dead.
you just.
What did you guys agree on before?
I was just trying to let him know,
Okay.
because it.
So this is
I
why
mean, it sounds like you're trying to
when you've
bait
got
me into a
2
misplay.
upgrades
I'm not
up,
trying to bait you
very
with a misplay. You
important
might
to
have
track
misplayed. You moved that over there,
which
and that
one
would be
is
a
on which
misplay.
character.
But at this point, regardless of
because
which
depending
player,
on which one leaves
Yeah,
the
but if you
field,
misplayed,
this is going
I'm
to
not
determine
saying
the
that
game.
you're not playing it well, because you played it right. But I'm not gonna. I don't just assume you're gonna play it perfectly.
Okay, so with this die on here,
I'm saying- okay,
does that
good.
mean that it's Kylo's dice?
Yes, if you pull it back on Kylo's card, that would be Kylo's.
So,
Okay, 'cause that wasn't
Sean had
clarified
to
when
step
I did
over
that.
here since he's the official
we're
TO
fine.
as they discuss the
Yeah, we're
crossguard saber dispute because it looks like
So then I would
Uriah did
kill
not
Kylo,
keep his crossguard sabers
And then I would
separate, or
resolve
they're
this.
trying. So
Yeah,
they're trying
good
to
game.
agree.
Okay,
But
good game, man.
yeah.
Okay, so it looks like
Sorry.
either way it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
you're good. It's just a little frustrating when it's like
Okay.
the only chance I have is for you to misplay, and you're like, I'm not gonna misplay. And I'm like, well then, dude, you gotta go through the steps. You gotta go through
Fair
the
enough.
steps.
Fair enough. Well, good game, man.
Yeah, good game. Congratulations.
That was a really close one.
Go clarify.
So I resolved the special for 2 damage to kill Snoke.
Yeah.
Either character would have done it, but there was a miscommunication on whose character.
So it looks
die
like,
was.
through all the confusion,
It was really
Uriah has won
And again, I haven't
the
been
Portland
playing
Game
this that
Store
long.
Store
I
Championship
just want to make sure that you know that my
in
it's
the
like,
finals.
As from in my
Winning in
perspective,
2
my
and
only
0.
chance is for you to misplay because you have the dice, right?
Yeah.
And if you're gonna sit there and be like, I win, I'm gonna be like, no, you gotta. You
So
gotta prove
Kylo
to me,
Snoke
especially
taking
at the
it
final
over.
table.
Well, that
Snoke
can be also said when you went back a play after
True.
you.
Yeah. Same
moved
thing.
the
It's the
dice,
same
right?
thing. I'm not saying I'm faultless. I'm just saying, especially at the end of the game, I want you to go through the steps.
All right, fair game. Man. Good game,
Yeah,
brother.
good game, man.
Good
That was
game, man.
And
those
there's
were
the
amazing
handshake,
games.
and that is the
It was a close
championship.
one.
So thank you everybody for joining us. Again, we are coming from the Portland Game Store 3rd anniversary party, where you get to roll a gigantic dice to get some discounts. If you're listening from Portland, come get some sweet board games. And this was the 2018 Portland Game Store Championship.
So-
Thank you for joining us.
Uriah is your store championship, winning it with Kylo Snoke. He will be awarded the first place Ahsoka card and a first round bye at the regional of his choice. Thanks, guys, for tuning in to watch us here at the Portland Game Store. Once again, this was Pearl Yeti or Sean Aguilar and Hunter Dassonville or Das casting for you here at the Portland Game Store. These are your top 2 here. We're about to, I guess you'll get a nice little picture. Sean may or may not do a little award ceremony thing here. I don't know. Ooh, a guy just walked by with Terraforming Mars, which if you've never played it, is a great game. A local favorite here between us Artificery Portland Knights. They're right there. So it looks like we're getting a little awarding of prizes here on stream.
All right, guys. Very, very good gameplay. That was super exciting to watch on stream. Congratulations, Uriah. You get a bye to what I hope is the Portland Regional. I hope that's what you use it on. What?
Oh, yeah.
We already put in for February 16th. We better get it, FFG. February 16th. Approve the application.
Yes.
Uriah, you get a first place Osaka. So congratulations. Jeff, fantastic gameplay with that villain vehicles. You get a second place Osaka. All right, guys. All right. Thank you so much. You guys want to say anything to stream for the game? Here you go. You two are on camera.
All right. Hey, good job, man. That was really good. I had a blast. I had fun, and looking forward to the next time. So, thanks.
Really fun games. Love Portland Game Store. They always put in a good show. Shout out to Artificery. Shout out to Agent of Scion and Taxter, and I guess 0 Hour. Sorry, man.
What about GameSlayer? He was watching.
But did he really help me with my deck?
Ooh,
I'll give him a shout out just because, like,
Game Slayer's getting the slide here by Jeff.
pity shout out. Sorry, man.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right, guys. I think that wraps up our stream here. Thanks for tuning in, and until our next store championship or our next Friday night Destiny and Drinks here at the Portland Game Store.